Hello, everyone. This is Peter Fivefoot, and the puck drops here. Thank you, everyone who will be watching this later or right now. This is day two, well, technically day three, but day two of the stream on the shortened season, suspended season, coronavirus, all of that. Again, I'll say, everyone, please be safe. Take precautions, wash your hands, do all the things, be healthy during this suspended NHL season. Obviously, we hope hockey comes back, but as I did say in the previous video, I will be making predictions with no bias, not being a homer, of games how they usually go in the National Hockey League as if the season was going on still, and if the season will be still suspended till that April 7th end date, we'll have the end of the regular season and the playoffs too, which will be fun to predict, and the Stanley Cup champion, even though the NHL has said they would like to crown the Stanley Cup champion in the normal way. We'll see how that goes. So we left off with a few teams in the wild card and the Bruins close to clinching the playoffs. Let's see, I have my Bruins hat on. And we have Saturday's long list of games, and then obviously we'll do tomorrow's tomorrow. So we'll start now. We'll look at the standings. Right now, the Bruins are leading the Atlantic Division. The Washington Capitals leading the Metropolitan Division. And the two wild cards are Calgary and Winnipeg in the Western Conference. The two wild cards in the Metropolitan Conference, the Eastern Conference, are the Hurricanes and the Islanders. So we'll look now at the scores. The Devils go to Sunrise to play the Florida Panthers, and the Panthers win the game-winning goal scored by Eric Haula. The Toronto Maple Leafs play the Boston Bruins at TD Garden, where the Bruins go to overtime and beat the Maple Leafs 5-4 off of a goal scored by Jake DeBrusk in overtime. The Wild head to Philadelphia and beat the Flyers 4-2 with the game-winning goal scored there by the captain Mikko Koivu. The Capitals shut down the Blackhawks 4-1, the game-winning goal scored there by Alex Ovechkin. The San Jose Sharks travel to Texas and Dallas for their little friends in the Stars, and the game-winning goal scored there by Logan Couture, the captain. The Rangers play the Coyotes and go to a shootout, and the New York Rangers beat the Coyotes on a shootout game-winning goal scored by Pavel Buchnevich. The Detroit Red Wings head to Tampa and are blanked out, continuing their ineptitude, the terrible ineptitude in Tampa Bay in Amalie Arena, and the game-winning goal scored there by Nikita Kucherov of the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Calgary Flames hold off the Jets at home. The game-winning goal scored there by Matthew Tkachuk. The Kings lambast Anaheim at home with the game-winning goal scored by Ansei Kopitar. The Pittsburgh Penguins lose to the Carolina Hurricanes 4-3. Carolina's game-winning goal scored by Teuvo Teravainen. And the Columbus Blue Jackets get a huge win over the Nashville Predators. Game-winning goal there scored by Alexander Texier. So Columbus 6-3, Carolina 4-3, LA 6-1, Calgary 3-1, 4-0 shutout by Andrei Vasilevsky, 4-0 Lightning, 5-2 Panthers, 5-4 Bruins in overtime, 4-2 Wild, 4-1 Caps, 2-1 Sharks, and 4-3 New York Rangers in a shootout over the Coyotes up there in Arizona. So the standings look like this now. In the Pacific Division, the Vegas Golden Knights are still at 86 points. They didn't play. 72 games played, 86 points for Vegas. The Edmonton Oilers still at 85 points, 72 games played, as they didn't play. But the Calgary Flames upreached the Vancouver Canucks to 82 points to third place in the Pacific Division with 72 games played. The Vancouver Canucks fall down to the second wildcard spot with 80 points, and 71 games played. The Arizona Coyotes get 1 point because they go to a shootout, and 75 points, 72 games played. The Anaheim Ducks sit at 67 points and 72 games played. Right behind them are the Kings, who just beat them, at 66 points and 71 games played, and the San Jose Sharks have 65 points and 72 games played. The Sharks are still in the playoff race, barely though. They have not been eliminated from the playoffs, but are close. In the Central Division, the number one St. Louis Blues have 96 points and 72 games played. The Colorado Avalanche with 94 points and 71 games played. The Minnesota Wild have 81 points and 71 games played, are the first wild card team. Right behind them are the Jets, who were in it last night but are not in it today, with 80 points and 72 games played. The Nashville Predators have 78 points and 71 games played. The Chicago Blackhawks tally 72 points and 72 games played. So that's it in the race in the Western Conference. It's 1, 2, 3 Blues, Avs, and Stars. The first wildcard spot, the Wild. In the Pacific Division, it's Golden Knights, Oilers, and Flames. And in the second wildcard spot is the Canucks. And now we go to the Metropolitan Division, where the Washington Capitals sit at first place, but now by 3 points, 94 points with 71 games played. Behind them by 3 points, the 91-point Flyers with 71 games played. The Penguins lose in regulation, so 88 points, 3 points behind Philadelphia with 71 games played. The New York Islanders right behind them with 83 points, and the first wildcard spot they still keep with 70 games played. The Carolina Hurricanes right behind them with the second wildcard spot with 83 points. Behind them with 83 points, but on a tiebreaker lost, still out of the playoff race, still out of the playoffs now, are the Columbus Blue Jackets with 83 points and 72 games played. As I go back to it, the New York Rangers have 81 points, 2 points behind in 71 games played. And the New Jersey Devils with 71 games played sit at 70 points. They are not out of the playoffs yet, but the Devils don't look good. In the Atlantic Division, the Boston Bruins have 104 points and 72 games played. The Tampa Bay Lightning have 94 points and 72 games played. The Toronto Maple Leafs with 84 points and 72 games played at third. The Panthers are 4 points behind them because the Toronto Maple Leafs went to overtime and got a point out of it. The Florida Panthers are behind them by 4 points with 80 points and 71 games played. The Montreal Canadiens sit at 71 points and 72 games played, as they didn't play. Neither did Buffalo, but they sit behind with 70 points and 71 games played due to the fact that 2 days ago the Sabres beat them. In seventh spot are the Ottawa Senators, close on the thread, but they're still not. They are still not out of the playoffs. Ottawa with 64 points and 72 games played. Let me just look at it again. The Ottawa Senators are not out of the playoffs, but they are very close to being out of the playoffs. The Detroit Red Wings, who have already been eliminated, have 40 points with 73 games played, the most out of any team in the NHL. Thank God. It's been a terrible season for them. And what's that? If you look at the standings, with that win in overtime, the Boston Bruins have clinched the playoffs. I'll say hello to my friend Tom Bavaro. So that is it for today and today's podcast. Also, yes, live stream. Also, yes, the Carolina Hurricanes and the Islanders are in those wild card positions. For tomorrow's games that we'll talk about on Sunday, the Devils will be in Tampa Bay to play the Lightning. The Jets will be in Vancouver to play the Canucks tomorrow, obviously. My birthday also. We'll be doing a video on that, hopefully. Nashville will be in Minnesota for the last meeting of the year against the Wild. The Carolina Hurricanes will be meeting Buffalo Jeff Skinner against his old team. Edmonton will be in Philadelphia to play the Flyers. Vegas, a huge game in Denver to play the Avs. The Ottawa Senators will be visiting the defending champs. Montreal will play Anaheim, and the Islanders will play Pittsburgh. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Happy hockey, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow.